The movie begins with three friends named Sam, Matt, and Zine, who set off on a trip to a wellness resort located on a remote island in the ocean. It turns out that Matt and Zane had organized the trip specifically for Sam, who had recently separated from his wife, Eden, and they wanted to help him get out of the sadness he was going through. At the same time, Reese, the owner of the resort, is seen speaking with someone named Louis, who is later revealed to be an inspector from the Environmental Protection Agency. Louis informs Reese that the agency has received numerous complaints from guests at the Andrew Resort, reporting skin diseases after swimming in the sea. Reese tries to deny these claims, insisting that the beach water is clean and free of harmful substances. However, Louis seems unconvinced and hands him a vial containing chemicals to test the water quality, advising him to conduct daily tests to ensure the guests' safety. Nevertheless, Reese dismisses the matter and throws the vial on the ground. Elsewhere at the resort, two staff members are in the sea trying to catch some fish to prepare a meal for themselves and their colleagues. They are puzzled when the fish suddenly disappear for no apparent reason. Suddenly, a giant, terrifying-looking shark emerges from the water, sprays them with a green, sticky substance, then attacks and devours them one by one. Meanwhile, Reese returns to the resort and meets two employees, Jess and Erin. Jess is revealed to be a paramedic, while Erin is an administrative officer at the resort. They inform him that their two colleagues who went fishing have not returned, so Reese asks Jess to take a boat and search for them. Back to Sam, who is walking on the beach with his friends when he is surprised to run into his ex-wife, Eden, who turns out to be staying at the same resort. Eden realizes that her friends, Audra and Gabby, had encouraged her to come on this trip with the intention of meeting Sam, and that it was a joint plan with Zane and Matt. Everyone had hoped that Sam and Eden would reconcile. However, Eden is not pleased by what happened and argues with Sam, accusing him of trying to get close to her just to win her back. Sam denies this, explaining that he didn't know she would be at the resort, and that if he had known, he wouldn't have come in the first place. Eden becomes angry and decides to leave the resort, but Audra and Gabby refuse to leave. Zane steps in to convince Eden to stay and suggests that Sam avoid being in any place where Eden is present. Everyone agrees to this arrangement. Later, Reese gathers all the resort guests and welcomes them, wishing them a pleasant stay. After some time, Jess goes to take a boat to search for the missing staff, but discovers that the boat is broken. He tries to fix it, but suddenly something hits the boat from underneath, causing Jess to fall into it. He looks into the water to see what hit the boat, but sees nothing, feels frightened, and decides to return to the resort. At the same time, Eden is sitting on the beach with her friend Audra. Sudra notices that Eden is wearing a bracelet, and Eden tells her that it contains a magnet. She explains that when the magnet interacts with seawater, it emits certain magnetic waves that repel sharks. We learn that Eden is a marine scientist and that she has a fear of sharks, which is why she always wears this bracelet. At that moment, their friend Gabby is swimming in the sea, and suddenly, Eden and Sudra are shocked to see two young men carrying Gabby out of the water. They rush toward her and discover that her legs are injured. Erin arrives to assess the situation and instructs the two men to quickly take Gabby to the resort's clinic. Elsewhere, a female employee is riding a horse along the beach. Suddenly, the shark emerges from the sea and devours her. At the clinic, Jess begins examining Gabby's injury. She tells him she felt something grab her leg. He tries to reassure her, saying it might have been a jellyfish or coral, then starts treating the wound. Eden wants to stay by Gabby's side, but Gabby refuses and asks her to go have fun with Audra. So Audra takes Eden and they head to play on the beach. At the same time, Jess tells Erin that one of their co-workers took the horse for a walk along the beach, but hasn't returned yet. He's concerned about how their colleagues are suddenly going missing. Erin tries to calm him down, saying they're on a large island, and maybe the others just went exploring and will be back soon. Elsewhere on the island, a group of guests is practicing yoga. After finishing, they go for a swim, But suddenly the shark appears, sprays them with a sticky substance, and then attacks and kills them all. Meanwhile, Jess is walking along the beach with a male co-worker and their colleague Hayden, searching for the missing employees. Suddenly they find the phone cable strangely cut. They're upset because that cable was their only means of communication with the mainland. They're puzzled by how it was cut. Furthermore, they continue searching and find the vial of chemicals left by Louis, which they keep. Soon after, they discover a human arm on the beach, panic, and rush back to the resort. Elsewhere, the shark attacks and devours 3 surfers. At the same time, Jess returns to the resort and informs Erin and Reese of what happened. Erin panics, realizing that the only possible explanation is that there's a shark in the water attacking people. Everyone understands they must warn the guests immediately. Jess gives the vial of chemicals to Reese, who places it on a shelf. Reese then tries to calm Erin and Jess down, saying the situation poses a financial threat to the resort. News of a shark could cause major losses. But Jess and Erin insist that people's lives are more important than money. Reese agrees to warn the guests against swimming, but insists they say the water contains toxic substances rather than mention a shark. At that moment, Sam and his friends are playing tug-of-war on the beach, joined by Eden and Audra. Suddenly, the shark appears once again, spraying them with the sticky substance and then attacking, sending everyone fleeing from the water in panic and shock. At the same time, Jess and Erin arrive and witness what happened. Jess notices that everyone exposed to the sticky substance sprayed by the shark has fallen unconscious, so he and Reese rush to check on them. Meanwhile, Sam comforts Eden and her friend Audra, both terrified, while Zane appears extremely anxious and scared for his life. Erin tries to send a distress signal to the Coast Guard, but discovers that all communication lines are cut. She asks Reese to find a way to evacuate people from the island immediately. Eden and her friends head to the clinic to check on Gabby, only to find that her condition has severely worsened, her body is shaking violently, and she's speaking incoherently. Jess assumes that her wound was contaminated by seawater filled with the shark's toxic substance, which is now affecting her mental state. At that moment, Erin enters the room and everyone begs her to transfer Gabby to a hospital immediately. She informs them that all communication is down and she can't reach any hospital for the time being. They decide to take Gabby themselves to the mainland using the boat, and from there get her to a hospital and call for help for the rest of the people still on the island. Everyone is on the boat, but suddenly, Gabby bites Jess's arm and transforms into something resembling a zombie. She starts attacking everyone around her and tries to attack Eden, but Sam intervenes and pushes her away. Suddenly, the shark emerges from the sea and devours Gabby. At that moment, Reese is steering the boat, accompanied by Audra, who begs him to go back and get the others. But he yells at her to be quiet. He tells her he'll go get help and come back for them. Suddenly, the boat's engine breaks down. Reese tries to fix it, but the shark leaps out of the water and devours him. Then the engine overheats and catches fire. Within moments, the engine explodes, destroying the boat completely. Eden breaks down in shock, unable to comprehend the loss of her closest friends all at once. Suddenly, she jumps into the water, saying she's going to save Audra. Sam follows her, thinking she's having a breakdown and imagining things. But Eden was right. They spot Audra in the sea coming toward them. They rush to her and help her out of the water. It turns out she had jumped from the boat just before it exploded. They take her quickly to the clinic, where they discover that she has a shoulder injury. Jess immediately begins treating her, but to their surprise, Audra starts behaving just like Gabby did when she was infected. At that moment, Erin walks in and tells everyone at the resort to return to their rooms until a way is found to evacuate the island. Erin returns to the clinic and discusses the current situation with the others. Jason tells her the situation is dire. They have no way to contact the mainland or call for help. Erin reminds him there's still one boat at the resort, but he tells her it's broken and needs repairs. Sam then tells them he has experience fixing boats and can repair them. Just then, Zane and Hayden walk in and say they need someone to accompany them to fix the phone cable. Everyone agrees that Zane will go with them, while Sam, Jess and Erin will work on fixing the boat. Eden stays behind to take care of Audra. But when Zane goes with Leo and Hayden, the shark attacks them and devours Leo. Hayden fires an arrow at the shark and hits it. Zane tries to do the same, but misses and accidentally hits Hayden in the leg. She screams in pain, and Zane apologizes and quickly carries her out of the water. Meanwhile, Eden looks for something to help Audra sleep and rest. She accidentally finds a vial of chemicals. Thanks to her marine science background, she realizes it's a substance used to test seawater. She takes the vial and heads to the sea to investigate the cause of the problem. At the same time, Sam discovers that the substance the shark sprays in the water caused the boat to corrode. He begins working on a way to fix the damage. Suddenly, Jess turns into a zombie due to Gabby's bite. He attacks Erin and throws her into the water, then tries to bite Sam. Sam defends himself fiercely. Just then, Erin emerges from the water and attacks Jess, hitting him on the head until he loses consciousness. They tie him up and take him back to the clinic. But they're shocked to find that Eden and Audra have disappeared. At the same time, Zane and Hayden arrive at the clinic. Erin is horrified to learn that the shark devoured Leo, and Zane is stunned to see Jess tied to a chair, having transformed into a zombie. Amidst all the chaos, Hayden pleads to be treated. Zane approaches and holds her firmly so that Erin can remove the arrow from her leg, as there was no other solution. At the same time, Eden is by the sea conducting a test on the water, and she discovers it contains toxic substances. She decides to go into the water and approaches the shark in a strange manner. The shark begins swimming quickly toward her, about to devour her, but suddenly it turns away from her. At the same moment, Siam pulls his hand quickly out of the water. When they reach the shore, Sam is shocked by Eden's behavior. She tells him she discovered the seawater had been contaminated by waste dumped from ships, which poisoned the shark and mutated it into a strange species that secretes a toxic substance from its body continuously. Siam asks her why she approached the shark. Eden tells him the bracelet she's wearing contains a magnet, and she wanted to test if the magnetic field would affect the shark. Sam yells at her, telling her what she did was reckless because he was deeply worried about her. At that point, Eden realizes that Sam still loves her. She apologizes for the misunderstanding that happened between them recently, and he apologizes too. They decide to get back together. Sam takes her to the clinic, and there Eden explains to Zane and Erin what she discovered. Sam then decides to take Zane with him to fix the boat, while Eden and Erin go to search for Audra around the resort. Indeed, that day Sam and Zane manage to repair the boat and take it out to test it. But suddenly the shark appears and rams the boat from below, causing Zane to fall into the water. The shark passes right by him but doesn't eat him. Zane swims quickly back to the boat and Siam pulls him out of the water. They head back toward the island before the shark attacks again, but Zane is now injured and bleeding from his leg. It turns out the shark hit Zane with its fin while underwater. The problem is, the shark continues chasing the boat and hits it with a strong blow that damages the engine. At that moment, Zane and Sam prepare to face the shark, but it doesn't attack as it swims away. Meanwhile, Jess wakes up and manages to free himself, then attacks Hayden and bites her. At the same time, Eden and Erin are still looking for Audra. Eden walks past the yoga room and goes in to grab a magnet used during therapy sessions. She explains to Erin how the magnet can help repel the shark. But as they leave the room, they're shocked to find that Audra has turned into a zombie. She, along with the other resort guests, who have all become zombies, begin to attack. Eden and Erin flee at full speed toward the sea. There, Zane and Sam spot them and call out. With no other option, Eden and Erin jump into the water. Just then, the shark arrives and starts attacking the zombies, devouring them one by one, which gives Eden and Erin a chance to reach the boat. Zane and Sam help them climb aboard quickly. Sam manages to restart the engine, and they begin heading toward the mainland. But the engine overheats and catches fire. Everyone rushes to put it out with water before it explodes. Coincidentally, the boat stops in the exact spot where the previous one exploded. Erin tells them that the boat that exploded had a flare gun stored inside. Eden decides to dive into the water to retrieve it, seemingly with a plan to get rid of the shark. But Sam objects to her diving alone and insists on going with her. She agrees, and they attach magnets to their legs before diving in to ensure the shark stays away from them. They dive together and start searching for the flare gun. Meanwhile, Zane turns into a zombie and attacks Erin, trying to bite her. She hits him with an oar and knocks him into the sea, where the shark quickly devours him. Eden and Sam find the box with the flare gun and swim back up. They're saddened by what happened to Zane, but Eden acts quickly, knowing the shark will attack soon. She gives the flare gun to Sam and tells him it only has 3 shots. He must focus and land a fatal hit on the shark. Unfortunately, the shark slams into the boat, causing Sam to drop the first shot into the water. He loads the second one and aims. When the shark returns, he fires but misses. The shark hits the boat again with great force. The impact knocks Erin into the water. Eden gives Sam the bag containing the magnet and tells him to throw it at the shark to drive it away. Sam waits for the right moment. As soon as the shark emerges from the water, he throws the bag directly into its mouth. Because of the magnet inside, the shark becomes disoriented, moving erratically until it crashes violently into the boat, destroying it. Fortunately, Sam and Eden are unharmed. Eden seizes the opportunity and uses the last flare shot, aiming carefully and landing a direct hit on the shark. It explodes and dies instantly. They use the boat wreckage to float until they reach the mainland. But Sam and Eden are shocked to discover that Erin has been infected and turned into a zombie, and that's where the movie ends.